Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode on, well, not the NardCraft server yet. I'm actually starting off today in my creative testing world, where I want to mess around with a few designs for a Piglin Bartering farm. We will build a little platform for our friend here, and we want a dropper out the back, I'm assuming at his face height. Okay, let's toss him in there. Of course. You are not. I need a full-grown guy. I'm going to kill you this way. Sorry. Try again. Oh, come on, dude. 2 babies in a row. There we go. So first things first, let's just fill this up with gold. Yeah, and let's put a button on it. Now if I dispense it, you got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he tosses it out, and it lands in there with him. Let's come up with a item collection system that will be able to be scaled up as we go. Here, and minecart hopper. Oh, you know what? Hold on, but let's, if I do this, I need a way to, I don't want to do like a whole unloader system. Let's say it's 8, and it's every 1, 2, so that's 8 cells. If we had 8 of these guys, that would be picking up from. Let's put a hopper over there. So if we do this, and we assume this is a chest, I think we send it back when it's empty. How do we do that? I'm making this a lot more complicated than I initially wanted to, but that's okay. And this, and I send a minecart along its tracks. It'll go here, and then it'll stop. And then if I were to put a torch here, no, it doesn't send it back. There. So let's make it a little longer then. Make a little bit of a collection system here. So boop, 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 boop. Chest there. So the grid would end there, where they all pop out. So this goes across, picking up everybody's collections, then it stops. So I would need a way to send it back. Well, turn off over here. Yes. So once this is empty, this should turn on, maybe? Yes. Okay, that's something. So now we just got to get it to the right spot, like this ridiculousness. Oh, look at that. So now let's say Bob here has a bunch of stuff on the floor. The minecart picks all of it up, and then the minecart didn't stop. Maybe because it needed more track to stop. Okay, hold on. So nothing in it. It goes, and it keeps going. Hey, Bob, you take that. It picks it up. And it brings it over here. And it's going, it's unfilling, although slowly. And it's on its way. With the minecart unloader working, I decided to build up each chamber that the piglins would be chilling out in, and give each one of them a separate dropper that would chuck out a piece of gold to them at the appropriate timing, from which before I think was about 6 seconds? So now we need some sort of timing mechanism. So I'm going to backwards engineer this from over here. This will be where the first guy is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Getting a little sidetracked from the timer, I wanted to see if I could make the whole system more compact and have the piglins right next to each other in minecarts. Getting them into minecarts turned out to be a bit of a bigger pain than I thought it was going to be. Okay, we have 8 all in their minecarts. Oh no. Get back in position. Now I just need to put the droppers back into place and build up the timer. This was done pretty much in the same way that I did with the witch farm clock. Do this, a comparator, a repeater, into here. Is that right? And then this gets an output? No. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, yeah. So that's right. So I just have to get it to be 6 seconds then. And hopefully that should be about 6 seconds. We're gonna find out. Flip it on, do this. Okay, so with the timings worked out, I started to run the whole thing, and there were a few issues I noticed off the bat. First, every once in a while, one of the piglins wouldn't pick up their bit of gold, and that kept getting grabbed by the hopper minecart. And the second issue I was running into was that I may have too many items going through this for the collection system to keep up with it. Right now, though, I'm going to let it be and let that be a future Nard problem. So I feel like it's close enough that I can actually jump on the server and get this thing built. And I've logged into a bunch of raiders. Okay, we got to dispose of these guys before they cause any problems. But first we need to sleep. We don't want to get any more mobs showing up. Okay, let's grab a couple buckets of lava and maybe some sand to try suffocating Banner Guy? Yeah, okay. And take that, you... Oh, wait, come on. Everybody burn. Burn, baby, burn. I don't know if I kill the Banner Guy this way, if it'll start a raid, so I'm just trying to avoid him for now. Okay, they're all going down. Okay, last one. Come on. Come on. Okay, last one's dead. Time to try and suffocate Banner Guy. Come on, stay in the sand. Stay in the sand. Stay. Good boy. Okay, let's just drop some sand on your face. Come on. Go down. Easy peasy. With just a few arrows to the body. 'Tis but a scratch. Anyway, on to the Nether Roof. I found a decent spot in the Nether Waste biome where I was going to build this thing. And to try and avoid any gold being lost issues, I'm going to revert back to the individual chambers for the piglins. I'm also going to build the whole thing a bit higher up till I decide what to do for the storage and collection system. Now my idea for how I was going to get all of the piglins into position was pretty simple. And it's similar to how I did all the Endermen for the Eyes of Ender earlier in the season. I'm just going to make a spawning platform for them and then scaffold up high enough so that the platform is the only possible spawning area, and hope that after enough tries I'll get plenty of piglins. Of course, I will have to deal with some zombie piglins as well, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal.
Maybe I just can't see them. I'm too high. Oh my god. Wow. 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 Okay. Well. Jeez Louise.
So with this method clearly working, it was time to try and sort out the piglins and get them into their respective chambers. The first few times were a bit tricky, but then I remembered that they would actually pathfind to gold, so I just used that to my advantage, and in no time at all, I was able to sort them out and get them into their proper places. Before I actually begin with the next steps of picking up items from these guys, I went back into my creative world to toy around with a few ideas. Now I mentioned earlier how I was worried about how many drops I would be picking up and how slow a hopper minecart setup would be in collecting all of these drops. And as you can see here, there's a ton of drops. So I played around with this other idea. In this design, every piglin has their own collection system, which is quickly dispensed out of the nether here through these droppers. And then if we jump into the overworld and we reset up this hopper clock real quick, this guy is attached to a device that sends an item into the nether to keep it loaded so that the Piglin Bartering system continues to work. It's a quick and easy chunk loader. And now that that thing is back up and running, you can see every few game ticks, a ton of piglin drops come through the portal and into this sorting system. And this is the setup over here I'm going to build on the server. And I'll explain in a little bit more detail how I did this while going through that process on the server. Now I already got working on a part of this by building the portal that all the drops would be sent through. And I put a second portal next to it so I wouldn't end up in the same system as the items are going through. And one thing that I didn't plan for was that on the other side of this portal would actually be this snowy ice biome over here. I also kind of started to test out the outline and lay out the path that the items would take to go completely around their individual sorted chests. And one thing I ran into was that the water was actually starting to freeze. Hopefully throwing a torch down by the water sources later will fix this issue. So now it's time to actually get a rough idea of the collection system and make sure we build this big enough. My goal is to actually have enough spaces on both sides to collect all the items that can possibly be bartered by the piglins. This way, if a bunch of one item goes through in the first batch, the second batch on the other side of hoppers could potentially pick it up. Now, the other tricky part about this is I want to make sure no items get stuck in any of the corners. So each corner I want to make sure has a flowing water source block. So this all looks pretty good. These water streams go around and cover both sides with the two sections of chests that the items will go into, with a little bit of a break where the water doesn't fully flow down the entire line and picks up with another water stream. For the actual sorting system part of this, I'm using Impulse SV's design, link in the description. I didn't realize it, but this system has been around for years, and to this day it still actually works. It's great, and it works reliably. I always like using emeralds named as bread as my placeholders in this filter. It references a funny little joke between me and Tokyo from my earlier days of streaming. With the filter all set up, I just need to place the hoppers and their respective chests in like this. And that pretty much does it for the item sorter. Now to work on the delivery method from the nether side. So this system is using a bunch of droppers to spit the items through. A comparator checks to see when the dropper has an item in it or not. I will just throw a few in here to show you real quick, and there it goes, shooting these out into the portal. Let's jump back through to the overworld and we can see where they actually end up going. Oh boy. Well, this isn't good. Looks like I'm shooting them from the wrong side of the portal. Probably should have tested this out first. Let me think what's the easiest solution to fix this. I decided flipping the system in the nether around would be easier. Just going to tear down this old portal here and build up a new one on the other side of the droppers. I'll do a small one just to test it out real quick, make sure it's all linked up appropriately, and try sending an item through to see if it goes on the right side this time. Okay, so it definitely linked up right. Let's just go over here and check to see if that gravel... Yep, gravel went in. Gravel went through, so I think we're good. Now I just got to finish up rebuilding the full scale of the portal, and I also have to rebuild the auto dropper setup from the other side. I'm going to throw some items in for a quick test to make sure all of this works up okay. Yeah, okay, that seems good. Now, to actually get the items from the piglins into the droppers, I need to do a little simple minecart hopper setup. Hopper into dropper, and the rails, and then last the minecart hoppers on top of that. With that all set up, I need to get the timing system down for dispensing the gold to the piglins. So I'm switching this up to an etho hopper clock. They take up a lot smaller space and are also quite a bit easier to get the timings right on. The timing is controlled by how many items are in the hopper. They are passed back and forth and the comparator sends out a signal activating the piston, which pushes the redstone block when the hopper becomes empty. And it goes back and forth as long as there are items in there. Every time it activates, it'll fire all the droppers at once, sending the gold out to the piglins. I'm also going to use a similar method in the secondary portal in the overworld to create a nether chunk loader. Basically, this will shoot a stick through to the nether every so often to make sure the farm continues to run even if I'm not in the nether. Now, technically, I don't actually need this, and I could just stay on the nether side while this works. But I want it so that I can see in real time as items are coming through and check that the filtering system and everything is working from the overworld side. Now I think that's everything in place. I just need to get some gold to test it all out. Luckily, Merp has recently finished his mega gold farm and set up a gold shop on the server. 8 diamonds for a stack of gold blocks. Yeah, okay, that seems reasonable. Reasonably expensive. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Now just going to break these down and toss them into this nice little gold distribution system I got set up over here. Basically just another minecart hopper going back and forth, dropping one bit of gold into each dropper along the way. Now that all those piglins are getting their gold, let's pop over to the overworld and make sure this whole thing is working. Gotta throw some sticks into this chunk loader and make sure the timer is working to kick the whole thing off from this side. And let's take a look. Yeah, a bunch of stuff is pouring on through here. Let's just add another wall for safety so nothing accidentally shoots over the edge. And how's this sorting system looking? Nothing really on this side, but ooh, wow, yeah, this side's accumulating a lot more stuff. I wonder how long this thing will run with all the gold I just dumped in there. I'm not gonna test it out now. Wow, that is a lot coming out. Oh, it keeps coming. It keeps coming. Nice. Well, anyway, as you can see, when this chunk loader activates, more stuff keeps popping out. This farm is the first attempt for me, and I may look into other more efficient designs in the future, but overall I'm pretty happy with how this came out, since I figured out most of this on my own. And that pretty much wraps it up for me. This is the last episode to have been made while I'm on this movie, as I get back to regular streams next week, where I'm looking forward to hanging out with you all again on the server. Anyway, if you did like this episode, please do drop a like, and if you haven't already, think about subscribing to this channel, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.